All right, so let's look at another operator. So I want us to take the relational operator first, and then we'll come back to the logical operators because we might need some of relational operators within while doing the examples for the logical. So let's say we take this first, the third one, and the relational operators. So the relational operators, when you compare, this has to do with comparison operators, is how one value or one number compares to the other. So when you compare two values, it's either that one is equals to one is less than one, and one is greater or equals to one is greater than one. All of those are going to be your evaluations when you compare two numbers. So the first thing you have under this is the equality sign. That's when you say a number is equals to when one number is equals to the other, and then you have the not equals to. So when two values are not equals to each other, and then you have greater than, less than, and then greater than or equals to, and of course less than or equals to. These are the various relational operators that we have. Well equals to, not equals to, greater than or equals to, less than or equals to. We have exactly equals to as well, which is like a triple equality sign, but let's keep it as this. Now, let's have examples. Let's have examples. So if I have, let's say I have int a is 200, and I have, so let's say I also want to declare b as integer as well, and I have it as 400. Then I say console. Look at what we're going to have in the console. Console dot write line and within it I am saying that a is, let's say I say is less than a is less than b. A is less than b. Look at what you have. A is less than b. So if we run that, you see what we got. You see true, which is obvious because 200 is less than 400, right? So but if we say a is greater than b, this is obvious as well. 200 greater than 400, that's going to be a false. So this will evaluate to false. This will evaluate to false. Okay, so if you run that as well, you see the same similar outputs. So this time around, I get a false. So when this number compares to this number, we are able to evaluate whether one is greater than one and then one is less than the other. So if, for instance, I say A is equals to B, it's obvious because 200 is not equals to 400, right? So this would also evaluate to false. This will also evaluate to false. This also evaluates to false. Then if I say A is not equals to B, so this is also obvious, and we expect it to be to be true because A and B are not equal, so it evaluates to true. So we use comparison operator or relational operators to just see how one value relates to the other. So you can see that as that. So you can try out on your own, try out greater than or equals to, and then less than or equals to. So let's take on another operator. Let's take on another operator. Say we're looking at the second operator now, the logical operator. The logical operator. So I jumped into the third first, and then now let's take on the logical operators. The logical operators are the AND, the OR, and the NOT. So this AND here is written as the double ampersand, and the OR is written as double pipe, and NOT is written as an exclamation like this. So this is the various logical operators that we have. So we use logical operators, so equally we use it most of the times in conjunction with the relational operators. So we have two expressions. We have two operands. So operand on the left hand side and operand A, and then we can have that evaluate with operand B. So if A and B are of the same, let's say true and true will evaluate to true, true and false will evaluate to false, false and false will evaluate to true, and all of that. So this is what logical operators is. So we are going to find ourselves using it a whole lot when you're using conditional branching, conditional statement, and all of that in your normal functional programming. So let's have an example before we do a deep dive. So we have the so here just same stuff that we're using here. A is less than A is cost of 200 and B cost of 400. So I can say that A is less than B. Look at that. Oh. A is less than B, and A is less than B, and B and A is not equals to B. These are two different expressions. So A is less than B is true because A is less than B, 200 is less than 400. And then also A is not equals to B is also true because A is not equals to B as well. Okay, so let's say what we are doing here is, this is going to be a boolean data type. So let's say we assign it. So at least let's use another. Let's say we assign it to a variable D, which is this. So we said variable D is this. So we're expecting it to be either true or false, and that's why we're saying it is a boolean. All right. So now let me console log what we have as that. Console log console.write, and let's say I'm writing a D. So just so that we're able to differentiate them, so let's put them into, so we have this. So that we know which is which. So here I say A not equal. That's here. I'm just relational example. Let me say relational example. That's what I have here. And then here I have the logical example. And here I'm outputting D. So just so that everything is clear. Alright, so if we save this and you run it, so we can see the relational example to be true and the logical example to be true, because here you can see these are two different statements and both sides are true. So what we're saying here is that we're comparing two expressions, this expression and this expression. So if the left hand side expression is true and the right expression is also true, and the hand operators will always evaluate to true. So it's just like you saying that what I want is rice and beans. It means that rice and beans is what you want. So rice, if it's only rice, it's going to be a false. If it's only beans, it's going to be false. But a combination of the two is what goes. So let's look at here. If I change this now, I say A is greater than B, which it would be false, and then A is not equals to B. So that's false and true. False and true are not two friends. False and true would evaluate to false. So I expect the second one to be first now. Run that. So you can see the distance. You have your relational example, true. Logical example is false. All right. So pretty much you can see that in action. The AND operator, the OR operator, though, if we have OR operator, uh, where we would say this. Let's say we say A is greater than B, or B is A is greater than B, just like we've said, or this. So for or, just either of the two, need to be true. So or if you say false and false, false or false, is false. So let's say false and false or true, you know, you have it. So let's have the evaluation like this. So let me say logical, and then you have this one logical or example. So here I'm outputting E. So this one is a false, but this one is true. Because it's or, it will evaluate to true. Because it's or, it would evaluate to true. So you can see the first one, the and is false, while the or is true. So just either of it needs to be true. So but if you say A is greater than B and A is equals to B, this is two false statements. This is false and this is also false. Let's see how that evaluates. So you can see false or false is false. False or true is true. True or false is false. True or true is true. Okay, so if both of them are true, it will be true. If either of them is true, it will be true. If both of them are false, it will be false. So you see yourself using this under conditional branching, conditional operators, if statement, and all of that a whole lot later on. Okay, so and not, we've actually used not where we are talking about relational statements. So when we say something is not, and then we've used not here as well, like I said during that. So we say if something is not something, so it's just a negation of that. So if it's not, if it's, let's say it's not true, not true means it's false, not false means it's true. You know, just negates what you're talking about. Okay, so this is a bit on the relational operators and the logical operators. Now, so let's look at the assignment operator.